Good evening and welcome to the Finance Committee meeting for the City of Sunbury. It is November 17th, 2021, 6:30 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Joe St. John.
Here.
Dan Capel.
Here.
Rick Elliott is absent. Confess is absent. Martin Fisher is out. David Martin.
Here.
Cindy Lou.
Here.
Four present.
Right. We had a meeting on October 20th, 2021, and there are minutes for approval.
I'll make a motion.
A motion by Dan Capel,
Second.
second by Cindy Cooper. Discussion. Roll call.
Dan Capel.
Yes.
Cindy Cooper.
Yes.
David Martin.
Yes.
Joe St. John.
Yes.
Right.
All right, we're on to the financial memo, GAP versus ACBOA. This is something we talked about probably 4 months ago or thereabout. We do need to have a firm help us with providing the documentation for the audit required by the state as we go forward with ACBOA. And it's recommended that we select Julian and Grube, and a little bit about Julian and Grube, they're a local firm. There's a bunch of information in your packet about Julian Grube and the actual proposal. For a 1-year agreement, it's approximately $6,000. We can get up to a 3-year rate with them on a lower unit cost if we go with a longer term. And the thing I wanted to mention is I specifically reached out to the Delaware County Auditor about who they recommended, and they recommended Julian and Grube. I believe they're based out of Westerville, if I'm not mistaken. And they serve several school districts and different entities in the local area, including the Delaware Convention Center, DACC, Berkshire Township, and many other in the Central Ohio area, with all different types of services, including audit prep, but also GAP conversion, which is something we may end up utilizing this firm for in future years as we transition from ACBOA to GAP, if that's the desire of council in the future. Do you have any questions for Fiscal Officer Belcher?
Do you want to go ahead and contact them and have them get started? It's within your spending, $6,500, or would you rather do? We can put it on the agenda to do a 3-year term or 1 year.
I think I would recommend a 3-year term. I think that's our standard term length. We get a lower unit cost. I can't remember the exact dollar amount, but we get about a $2,000 per year break, which is like 33% off.
Okay, I will contact them and ask them what they need, and then I'm sure since it's a contract, they will want to bring it back to council so we can get that ready.
In the meantime, do you think we'll have something for next council meeting? Okay.
I'm not sure. I need to ask them how much time they need.
Okay. Are there any questions? This is new information, does not require action, but if there are any questions about what services they're providing, who the firm is, or if you'd like to go a different direction, please let me know. Any comments, questions? All right. On to, we'll just review an ordinance approving other comprehensive basis of accounting principles for City of Sunbury annual financial statements. And we've already approved that.
We haven't actually passed the ordinance for doing that, and we do have to do that. So it's set up to do 3 readings. And then with the 30 days, it'll fall into effect at the end of January. So the reports are due at the end of February. Timing is awesome.
Okay. It is on for a
It is
first reading tonight.
This says it's on for a second reading tonight on the agenda.
I'm gonna have to correct you, Mr. Martin. If you read at the bottom of page 2 of the council agenda, there's a small line where your thumb is that says first reading.
second readings, ordinance 2022-01.
Scroll down to the bottom of the page,
I know, I see that.
right here.
I see it down there.
Yep.
But up here,
He's
it
reading
says-
this one over here, the Akboa one. He's reading that one. The first reading, it's.
oh, I'm sorry, I skipped that because I thought we were done talking about Akboa and I moved on down to sheet of paper in front of me, but I'm sorry, I jumped ahead.
It's all right. Was that an official motion? Do we have a second on the apology? I've taken many digs from you, Mr. Martin. That was my first one. I said
Have you
that.
ever taken-
At one time I misspelled dare. Just kidding. Let's roll. All right.
The budget's out there for, anyway, I skipped. Do you want to talk about health insurance at all or just?
Was it maybe anybody who was in the meeting or meetings, just a high level summary of where we are? Cindy?
We're looking at options.
Okay, thank you.
And the options are, there's 3 options on the table. We're not sure which way we can legally do. We're trying to get legal opinion on a second option that might make it cheaper.
Okay.
But these are considering the option of buying up to a richer plan with a lower deductible. But we need to find out if option 2 is available or not.
Okay.
And when she says cheaper, she doesn't mean cheaper than what we've been paying. She means less of an increase,
Right.
basically, right? When you say,
Well, the MEWA is definitely cheaper than what we've been paying. The renewal is an increase from what we're paying now.
okay,
So the renewal is here, the MEWA's here, and the richer plan's here.
but in the MEWA, do we have more at stake in the future then, if we're paying less money potentially?
One of the options that were discussed, if we have that much of a savings to turn around and do it like an HRA
Right,
on the back end.
okay.
I don't know. It's everything's out on the table.
There are a whole lot of 3-letter initials associated with all of this too, so keep that
There
in
was
mind
an
later.
alphabet soup going on.
Yeah.
For sure. The chief might want to.
Yes, sir.
I spoke to, is her name Maggie? Is that her name?
Yes, Maggie.
She called me today to let me know that option 5 that we were looking at, the richer plan.
Yeah.
That if we ever get the stuff through with the MEWA, that she has a plan to present to us that is within the 2.4 that we talked about,
Yeah.
that is much more affordable.
It's a MEWA.
So, yeah, that's if the MEWA goes through.
If we can do the MEWA.
Yes, if we can do the MEWA, there's a richer plan.
It's a richer MEWA
Yes, she can do the 2.4 basically.
and the MEWA.
Yes.
Now we just need to get the MEWA by Green.
I just want to let you know, she called me, so we put that out there, so.
That's all.
Does anybody have a good understanding of what MEWA is?
Mutual Employer Work Association. It's basically a group funded health insurance
Okay.
approach.
Kind of similar to what we looked at last year with the chamber, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. Right.
There's an indemnity sticking point that we're trying to see if we can resolve or not.
Got it. And with those options, when we get them back, will we be able to clearly say local share, or excuse me, municipal percentage versus employee share? Because those numbers can be bounced up against the MORPC numbers for local areas. And those are anywhere from 80% municipal funded to 97% from what I saw, but the majority are in the 90% paid. I think this past year we were close to 95% paid by the municipality. In other words, we're on the high end in terms of our contribution.
Yes.
Okay. All right, good deal. Recap of the 2022 budget so far.
Changes. I would like to look at it, see if there's questions, concerns. It's basically the new packet you got today is the updated version, the one that you had last time. Throw it away and start over with this one. All the department heads have weighed in on it. Please come to look at it.
Steve, did you want to hit on any elements of the budget?
No, it's been a somewhat cooperative process to arrive at this juncture. The one thing that you may look at that really might shock you is revenues and expenses under the general fund. And part of that is that we're moving some money out of the general fund and into a dedicated capital fund. And so it gets reported out twice, I believe. Is that how it
Yeah,
is? So
it's, you count it out and you count it in.
Where would we see that in the packet?
General fund, when you look at your total disbursements, it's at $10 million.
that very first page,
Yeah.
or the first spreadsheet that's got a lot of yellow on it. Yeah, they all
The
do. Sorry.
disbursements of 10 million is really 6 million, because 4 million of that is going over the capital projects fund.
At the spreadsheet that where it says capital expenditures, capital outlay, 1.7 million.
The very top, the summary sheet has it right here. See where it says that disbursement of $10 million on the very front page. That's the summary sheet. And I did disbursement of 10,541,469.
Total disbursement, 10,541,469.
4 million of that is the transfer out. And you'll see it coming in on village capital project fund. It's 2 pages from the back.
$10,500 going out, 4 going to capital outlay. The other 6.5 million is
Is the expenses in that.
okay. You're forecasting $5.4 million or thereabout in revenues. And you're forecasting over 6.5 million in
Disbursements. So we're spending some of the funds, the balance is.
when in recent history do you recall spending more than is coming in?
Not always, but this year I think I'm going to be, I think I'm low on the revenues, so I felt comfortable doing that. And I'm high on the expenses or what I budgeted in there because I don't think I have the insurances right yet because we still don't know where we are. So I'm budgeting too high on that.
Are you able to show a year over year I'll say expense line within the general fund.
You want one for each? You want expenses for each line item or total year-to-date fund, how it looks?
I need some level of detail so I understand, is it due to us forecasting? Are we adding a bunch of staff, increasing wages to such an extent? Is it, Parks Fund has $385,000 in it, like that's coming out. Those are so where our largest variance from this year compared to what we're budgeting for next year.
Payroll and parks is a lot of it. It's the benefits because I budgeted high on that. So if I give you a report for year over year on our expense by line item, I can do that.
You say line item, do you mean like GL line in the detail, or what is the level of detail are we going to see? I don't need to know the specific
I can do it.
people's
by
wages, but
department, just like.
okay, that'd be helpful.
Or I can do it, I can drill down to each line item in the place, like how much is for capital, how much is for payroll, and how much. I can drill down in each department, or I can give you an overall department.
What level of detail would you guys like to see?
I think by department summary is enough for me, but I also sat in our meeting and have a little more detail already, I feel like.
And you want a summary by department back how many years? 2 years?
Sure.
Okay. Give me a day or so.
Okay.
Now, if memory serves, or I should say, a few of the staff positions that we budgeted for, we aren't even necessarily sure we're going to fill.
Right.
So,
Do we know specifically which departments we're talking about?
I have 2 extras for street departments that I'm not sure if he's going to fill. I did take out the zoning position because right now there's a part-time zoning person there. I'm not sure if he's going to fill it.
Okay.
I have a replacement in wastewater plus 2 more. I'm not sure if those will get filled, but they're there.
Okay.
And that's the big thing. I have budgeted people so that they can be hired and not have to come back and amend it.
Okay. The capital project fund, what are we at, like project wise, what?
Project was that was going to be your savings for the street building, the police building. That was your big projects that we were trying to save for it, so we can make a dedicated fund just for those. It's coming back. We're trying to figure out if we could record this with Emily.
Who sat in with you on those meetings?
Tim?
The $385,000 for parks, is that money already spent, or is there something?
Which part?
Those were 2 anticipated phases of trails and our local share. And I think we put aside the money to be able to do the Nature Works grant also.
Yeah, that I.
we also programmed in 900,000 in land and buildings in case we want to work on the administrative office. And then there's $500,000 in streets. Is that?
That way. When you're looking at the general,
Yeah,
that's his truck, if he wants another truck. And his capital being there. That was his capital budget for his equipment. I'm trying not to have to come back and amend the agenda. Appropriation.
Where's the 900,000 for municipal building?
Page, it's at the bottom of, it's 101,901. It's line 199 in the general fund. Line 199, column E.
That's that. There's where it is.
Well, I mean.
That's a big chunk of it.
Yeah. I'm like looking around for, okay, there's a missing $1 million here. Where is it? That's the ticket. It's not missing. It's, you guys are being proactive and trying to budget for it. I never heard that we actually put it in a line, which is good news.
Well, I mean, it's there, then we don't have to amend it. I still will probably amend it, but at least it won't amend it as much. Hopefully.
Good work. That's right. You've been promoted to vice chairman of finance.
okay.
All right. You want to go on to reports or investments?
That's the easy part. Interest rate is bad, but it's just the way it is. Building permits are coming back up. I'm not displeased with where we're at. We're supposed to be at 83.3 through October for the revenue. I'm at 76. So I'm at 6% behind for the revenues for general. Street fund, we will be able to have the $400,000 to do the street, but I do not think we're going to have very much to carry forward. In fact, if you look at the budget, it's going to be, I'm anticipating nothing to carry forward. The sewer fund looks like it's doing really well, but I really think you have to consider how much reimbursement we've got from OWDA. So you need to take that out when you consider the revenues. So if you take it out, it really comes in at 8602, or it should be at 83, right? It looks like it's 113% of the budget, and that's not true because that OWDA is reimbursement. So when you take that out and then recalculate it, it's at 8602, which is reasonable. Then the expenses, my line item, and then that's pretty much it.
Revenues on income tax in particular, do you expect to hit 100%? Close.
It's gonna be real close.
Okay.
My income tax right now is at 83.5. Real close.
Okay. Good work. I don't think so. Do you have anything else for Kathy?
I will take a summary and send it out to you.
Okay. Do we have any visitors in the audience that would like to speak about finance? All right. Mr. Parkinson, do you have anything for us tonight? All right. Thank you. Steve, anything else? All right. I think we're ready to adjourn, and I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second by Damon Capel. Discussion. Roll call.
Joe St. John.
Yes.
Dave Captain,
Yes.
Steve Huber,
Yes.
Dave Martin.
Yes.
4 yes.